You know, I log into Facebook today. Now, never know what you're going to find. Realistically, people post a little bit of everything. So, election's over. It's been decided. Trump is our president. Yet we still have people that are slandering him on posts. Friends on my friends list. I mean, the worst part is the veterans, my fellow veterans, my brothers, that do not do the research. They just share the post. That's it. They just share the post. And now I'm going to get a lot of hate over everything I'm probably about to say. But I'll tell you this. I I feel that I've earned the right to speak my mind. As you can see, I've got a good looking scar here across my head. I got a metal plate in there. Both my arms, well, there's the camera right there. Both my arms have plates down them. My right leg has a plate down it. So I'm a walking antenna, I guess. I was injured in Afghanistan in 2009, serving my country. Not serving just Black Lives Matter, not serving Blue Lives Matter. I was serving my country. I think one of our biggest issues with the diversion that's in the country is from ignorance. It truly is. Nobody wants to walk that extra mile or spend that extra amount of time researching. They just want to share. They want everything to be easy, handed to them. It's a form of laziness. Now, down here, I kept, this is a protest. And it dumbfounds me. What what are you gaining? What exactly do you think you gained by destroying people's property or damaging a city property? What do you gain? You know what you gain? You gain diversion, more of it. You are fueling it. And the bad part is the media is fueling it. We've seen it. We've already seen it in the election. I mean, here you've got Hillary Clinton giving a live speech on the plane. And the guy that was to her left, about 3 steps back, was basically instructing the reporters right there on live TV on what questions to ask. And we ignore it. That was live TV. That was not a... I get very emotional about this because I love my country and I love my flag. And the people that are burning the flag, you are completely ignorant. You think that that flag is Trump. You think that flag is the president. You don't understand what that flag actually is, what it represents, our history. There has been good parts in our history and bad parts, yes. But if we sit and we focus over here, we're not driving forward. All we're doing is creating diversion because you got some people that are still living over here and you got some people that are still living over here. Now, I like a lot of, for example, Ronald Reagan's speeches. I think they're excellent. And I mean, they're spot on for the most part. But as times have changed, people have changed. People have evolved. Whether we like to admit it or not, every generation is weaker than the previous generation. They're weaker from the ground up. Now, that's not going to be every single person. I'm sure some people will butcher that and say, well, he said, but that's not what I said. What I'm saying is the generation, not the entire generation, but the generation. So, what I have above this, this right here made me sick. I mean, that this happened. I'll mute it. Now they're talking tough in the video, of course. But what do you see? Look at this. Sucker punch. The guy wasn't even looking at him. Wait, what was that at the beginning then? Oh, that's right. Multiple people. Not one-on-one. Not face-to-face. What's worse is that these people in the background continue to drive. Where is your so-called love for your fellow Americans? I'm sorry, but I don't agree with calling somebody an Asian American, an African American. If they're African American, then they hold two different homes. No, they're Americans. And if we could actually bring ourselves to just start saying Americans, then, I mean, look at what it could accomplish. Think about it. Also, on some of this slander on Trump is just absolute. Why in the world are you posting articles that aren't even real? You can Google the websites. Just go to Google, and you'll see that that's not what was even said. Some of it, it's on video, and it's just like, how much of a sheep are you? And to see a fellow veteran being a sheep instead of a follower, instead of being a leader. I said that wrong. I said that wrong. Instead of being a leader, not a follower. Us veterans, we've seen things in other countries that people in this country couldn't handle. I mean, I'm sure everybody that is deployed has seen that father beating their son as he's dragging them back into their little hut because he gave us a thumbs up. It's not what the media tells you it is. The media has no business over there. These people that praise Cooper, because he goes over there and he does all this and he's willing to go into the battlegrounds. You know that when he goes into an area and they take a coverage and they post it on TV, guess who's watching that? Guess who's watching how we're lining up, how we're setting up, how we're reacting? The terrorist. And yet we still let the media go over there and just broadcast this. And 9 times out of 10, you go into an area with media. The next time you go into that area, it's not going to be good. We've lost enough people to ignorance, to ignorant government, the lack of common sense. You know what? The fact that Trump come out and said that he wants term limits on Congress and the House, that should be something that should have everybody just absolutely just excited. I mean, this is the change we've all been asking for. Can he do it? I don't know. Will he try? I hope so. I do. But the media, the media. Tell you what, the media come out when Trump went and took the toys to the flood victims. We all remember that. I get it. It's a way to gain votes. I understand that. I'm not ignorant. But the media come out and said that I don't even remember how they said it. Basically, the governor, they didn't appreciate it. They didn't. And the media kept on saying, well, they need water. They don't need toys. And they kept on just saying it's Play-Doh. It's only Play-Doh. That's all that. Well, come to find out, and this again, do a little bit of research. There is quite a bit more than just Play-Doh. He donated diapers. Do the research. Go look. He donated baby formula, cleaning supplies, socks. He spent 20 to 25 minutes inside the command center there. And the fire chief said that he asked a lot of questions. He was very concerned for the residents. He was very concerned for the damages to the homes. How much water was in the areas. Why didn't the news tell us this? They didn't even show that. I'm sure some of the small local might have, but our big media is an issue. And then, of course, a church spokesman also come forward and verify that the supplies was donated by Donald Trump. Not the Trump Foundation, but Donald Trump. And then people have a hard time believing that. But I mean, think about how much money he's got. That didn't hurt him. You know, he's done a lot that never gets brought up. The racism. Let's talk about the racism. He sued the city of Palm Beach when he bought a segregated club to open it to Jews and blacks. Doesn't really sound too racist to me. Let's talk about Barbara. Was it Barbara Ress? He gave a job to her constructing Trump Tower, and everybody knows Trump Tower is his baby. All right, and making her the first woman in history to build a skyscraper. What? How come you all are so willing to believe that he's running for president? All of a sudden, all these women come forward and say he did this, he did that. And a lot of the times when they was claiming it, he wasn't even in the freaking region. I think one of them, he wasn't even in country. Don't let the media divide us. Because they're going to. They're going to divide us. Why is that? Who owns the media? That's a better question. I'm not going to sit here. I'm not going to give you the answers to that. I encourage you to find out who the shareholders are. Who makes the calls? Who strikes fear into our media? I encourage you to look that up. Spend some time. Yeah, I'm going to end this rant. And like I said, you get to the point where you log on and you're just so sick of ignorance being what's dividing us. It shouldn't be Black Lives Matter. It shouldn't be Blue Lives Matter. All lives matter. Until we can get on that page, we are going to be divided. People are too weak. That's what they're being. They're being too weak right now. Look at all these colleges. Well, see, I was going to end it, but now I'm thinking about those colleges. What? The students are so upset that they're not going to get free college? Do they not understand how free college works? Do you think those professors are just donating their time? Yeah, they're going to go from making, this much money to, you know what, we'll do it for free. Yeah, right. This is America, land of opportunity. What happens when the government starts giving money away. First off, it don't have the money to give away, so it's writing bad checks. Something that we would get arrested for doing. So what are they going to do? Where do you think they cut first? They cut from the VA. They cut from the veterans. I'm 100% disabled. I have more issues than I have time to sit here and describe. And I have to fight monthly with the VA. Because one month they're all about fear of overdose. Next month they're all about this, well, we think people are selling pills. I'm in chronic pain every day. I mean, I would bust somebody's teeth out for taking my pills. Let alone would I even dream of selling them. I need those. You know, a lot of people, they love to do these posts. You know, we support the veterans. No, we feel for the veterans. You have no idea our daily struggles. You have no idea. You have no idea how many people, how many veterans have been disqualified from a job for PTSD. You have no idea. You know why? Because that stuff doesn't go to the media. It doesn't go to the media. Phone's ringing. It's probably a late politician asking for their vote. So, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? We don't care. I encourage people to actually sit and talk to veterans that are in the VA system. These polls that come out are not real. This whole thing where Hillary was claiming that the majority of veterans are satisfied with their care. No. The majority of veterans that get that chance to do a survey are satisfied with their care. Am I satisfied with my care? You know, health-wise, I'm stable. Financially, no. No. And you know what I have to count on? Where everybody else put in a couple extra hours after work, you know, Christmas is coming up. Let's put in some extra hours so we can get some kids a good Christmas. You know, give them a good Christmas. Or some people take side jobs, going and chopping wood. That's just an example. I live in Missouri, so chopping wood's what instantly come to mind. Me. How do I get extra money? I get extra money by waiting for our Congress to say that our veterans need a raise. And when they do, what they do is very simple. They'll give us a raise that'll give us $5 a month more. But the cost of our health care goes up 10. And if you don't believe that, once again, it's out there. It's out there. Veterans are the very first people to get screwed. Why? Because we can't really bite the hand that's feeding us, or else it might not continue to feed us. So we're the most vulnerable group in America to take money from. And I love it because when I start talking to people when something happens and, you know, The VA cuts a program like they constantly are doing. We have to fight, and we have to go through the whole system and the whole waiting system just to get back into that program. And it's not even possible most of the time. Like I said, people, you live in this world that you trust the media, you trust Facebook posts, you trust everybody except for you don't go to the source. You don't. I've I've got a friend that, he went to an outside doctor, outside the VA, and they told him that he needed a surgery, a pretty important surgery. The VA says, "No, you're good. You can handle it." This is just one example. This is just one person. Now think of how many veterans are out there. Think about the older veterans that really they don't have the fight left in them. When you see that old guy in a chair, he's got a World War II veteran hat on, or a Korea veteran hat. He has went more deep into this country and done more for this country than most of the Americans that are on the welfare system that don't deserve to be. He has done unbelievable amount of sacrifices have been made by him, and yet we just pass him. We just walk by him. You need to teach your kids to stop whatever they're doing. Approach them, shake their hand, and tell them to thank them for their service. It doesn't fix the wrongs that we go through, but sometimes it's really nice. I mean, I've given up, and I would do it again. But I've given up so much. Or sacrificed so much. And like I said, I would do it again in a heartbeat, even knowing the outcome, knowing the pain. Knowing the fact that I'd be in a coma for a while, I'd do it again in a heartbeat. Because I love my country. I love my country. And part of loving your country is respecting the office. This childish nonsense, such as this, or these college students that are too distraught to function. I say, how weak are you? Realistically, come on now. If you have to walk out of a class because you are so distraught over the election and because you wanted Hillary to win, how weak are you? I mean, you're already showing how weak you are. But maybe you need to ask yourself, how does this make me look? I know we're not supposed to judge other people, but don't be a sheep. And if you don't feel comfortable being a leader, get behind the right people. Do your research. We have the internet. We have so much information at our fingertips, and yet nobody wants to do the research. So much easier just to click that share button. You want to open another tab on your window. Google what that is that you're about to share before you share it. And you will start to become part of the resolution. You'll no longer be a part of the problem that's creating the diversity. You know, when I say all lives matter, I stand behind Black Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter, Hispanic Lives Matter. You know what? I've served with all of them. They're Americans. We just got to remember what it is to be an American.